Do you know how a person falls apart? Not by a knife, but by hate chopped, piece by piece. A line from the police interrogation record. In 2013, a horrific dismemberment case shocked Beijing. It happened in a shabby hotel on the city's outskirts. The horror began with a smell something foul, heavy, and impossible to eliminate. Mr. Chun, the hotel owner, noticed the stench coming from room 207. Even after disinfecting the room daily with industrial-strength cleaner, the odor of blood and rotting flesh remained. The tenant of room 207 was a quiet young man who had checked in under the name Lin Hao. On the third day of his stay, he vanished. The door was locked from the inside, his belongings untouched. By the fifth day, after multiple complaints from other guests, Mr. Chun had the door forced open. What they found inside was unforgettable. The room was lined with black plastic sheets. In the center sat a large suitcase stuffed with body parts. Blood had soaked through to the carpet, already turning dark. The victim was a woman, estimated to be in her early 20s. Her hands were severed and carefully placed over her face, as if she were covering a smile. Surveillance that made no sense. The police reviewed all hotel surveillance footage. What they found was deeply unsettling. There was no footage of the female victim ever entering the hotel. On the night before Lin Hao disappeared, 2 people were seen leaving room 207 Lin Hao and a woman in a white dress with her head down. She wasn't registered at the front desk, nor had any camera captured her entering. She appeared out of nowhere. The unsent letter. Among the evidence was a letter never mailed. It read, "I chopped her up, but she won't leave. She keeps smiling, keeps saying, 'Now I'm finally just like you.'" Lin Hao and the victim were once lovers. After their breakup, the woman exposed his private life, publicly humiliating him and destroying his career. He lured her to the hotel under the pretense of reconciliation. In room 207, he murdered and dismembered her over 2 nights. Afterward, he began seeing her sitting by the bed, smiling, her mouth torn wide open. He said she wouldn't leave, and then it got stranger. The hotel was permanently shut down, but one demolition worker claimed to have found a photograph wedged inside a wall on the 2nd floor. It showed a man and a woman sitting on the same bed in room 207. The woman was clearly the murder victim, but the man was not Lin Hao. And the timestamp? 2011, 2 years before the crime. Mr. Chun, the hotel owner, recalled earlier complaints about that room. One guest once ran out in the middle of the night, claiming they heard someone scraping bones in the bathtub. No one believed them until now. And now people say she wasn't killed in room 207. She just came back to retrieve the other half of herself. So tell me, have you ever met someone who felt like your other half only to realize they never really left?